Hey guys, how's it going, and welcome to the first F1 at 25 driver career video. Now I'm starting with driver career because I'm waiting for more mods and stuff for my team to make it look better than it normally does, and there was no other driver I was going to do for the driver career than Kimi Antonelli, the new driver on the grid this year. Just going through all the settings now: full qualifying, medium race. We're not going to add any other team, we're just going to stick to that. We're going to choose the driver icons, we're going to keep them all off apart from the 4 F3 drivers, they will stay on. And obviously now we choose our official driver and we choose Kimi Antonelli, 71 rated for the new driver, the 18-year-old. Obviously Mercedes had a pretty decent start to this year, so hopefully we can put that into this game and maybe even get him a podium. First season aims just get top 5 in the championship, I reckon, and then next season, season 2, push on for the championship.
Finally, let's do this for real. Sorry it took so long. You know what these legal types are like? Yes, sir. No, sir. Here's 80 pages of needless jargon, sir. Anyway, believe it or not, this is my excited face. Come on, come on. Let me show you what we've got. So, all the usual stuff, merchandising, likeness, blah, blah, blah. But the really juicy stuff is their expectation of you. They need you to challenge yourself all season, be the best you can be, dominate your teammate, become a legend. All that jazz. Now, it's over to you.
Okay, here we are. It's contract time. The team are expecting you to improve as your career evolves. And so am I. Here, we will be setting you a contractual...
So pretty much the same scene as last year, just this year we're on a boat. Obviously, same as last year, choose the set rating. Obviously, we can't set the contract length for season 1, but after we can. Recommended 75 for Kimi. I'm actually going to go 77. I feel like we could push on a bit this year. Get some stat padding, really. Especially in qualifying. The race, I'm not expecting too much, but I feel like we can get a couple poles this year. So we're going to put 77. And that will be our set target rating for this year. So I don't think I'm actually going to add any upgrades for the first round at least. I think I might just keep it the same as it is. Still got the specialists, all the driver details, so our target is obviously 77, but we can drop to 64 to retain our seat. So we should be fine. We'll be with Mercedes next season. And obviously because Kimi is a rookie, we start the accolades on 0 for everything. Rivals at the moment, we've got George Russell. Obviously, we'll have a championship rivalry and a driver rating. I believe the driver rating could be, is it Isaac Hadjar? Who's got the closest? It'll be with either Doohan or Hadjar, I believe. Bortoleto being 74 is pretty accurate as he's F2 champion. Ollie Behrman 74. Franco's not been added to Alpine yet, but I guess that's fine. He did move quite quickly to Alpine before the game launched, whereas Yuki moved in time for EA to change it all. So yeah, I'm not going to add any upgrades. I think we can just go to the grid reveal and see tall Yuki and Liam Lawson looking like a bit of a penguin. And the cutscenes seemed very laggy there, so I don't know what the problem was with that. I haven't got max graphics on because I don't think my PC will be able to take it, so unfortunately I can't have maximum. It still looks great though. As we arrive to Albert Park for weekend number 1. Are we going to do any specialists?
You can
Complete
see your
race
select-
weekend, sure. And wind tunnels return in 2 weeks. So, where did Kimi qualify in real life? Was it like 15th, 16th, something around there? So as long as we get into Q2, then it's been a pretty decent first round, and I'd be happy with that.
And a warm welcome, everybody. We're here in the heart of Melbourne. It's Albert Park, and it's qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix.
Okay, let's have a comms check, please. Radio check. Radio check.
So we are ready for our first qualifying session of the season. I feel like I'm getting used to the lines now, but obviously we'll find out in this session. I have had to update the difficulty because I did practice and I was the second fastest, so I've updated it to, I think, 97. I think I put it on. I've forgotten already. So we'll see how that one goes. Quite a few drivers coming out now. I think we're going to follow them and join them on track. First flying lap then, let's see where this puts us. So I'm going to do a cool down lap and go again, but we cross the line and we go at P3, 4/10 off. I wouldn't say that's too bad, but we definitely messed up a bit as George goes for a 16, is that an 18.6 I think that said? It's a very good lap for him as we're going to recharge the battery and go again. Faster than Lewis Hamilton and Liam Lawson at the moment.
Okay.
Don't think we're going to make it round, but we might as well have an extra practice lap. Probably not going to get round, but a little practice lap's not going to hurt. Well, we had a purple middle as now the fuel goes out, which is, that's fine, I guess. Piastri now goes for an 18.2, so a very good lap from the McLaren. We're definitely going to have to go again now, sitting in 14th. Have stuck a new set of softs on because we need to improve here. Or we could do a Kimi and get knocked out in the Q1. This should safely put us through if no mistakes here. Little greys on the wall.
In this session,
We should
we're in the
safely
drop
be
zone.
through. We're
Get a
currently
green
knocked
flag.
out. We cross the line, we go
Qualifying over for
P3,
us.
and that is us into Q2. Luckily, faster than George at the moment, but that was I felt a really good lap there. Pretty much nailed it. I don't think I'll do better than that in Q2 and Q3, but I guess we'll find out, as it was a McLaren 1-2 in that session. Oscar Piastri with an 18.2 to our 18.6, so a little bit of time to gain between us and the McLarens. No massive shock, I'd say, really. Maybe Ocon getting knocked out is a big shock. Apart from that, pretty realistic. That Q1 knockout as we head into Q2. So I'm using the same set as the final run in Q1 to start with. See if I can make it through on that. If we can get into the lowish 18s, then we should be fine. We should be through on only one lap as George gets a 19.2. Second slower than Oscar. In Q1 as we go a bit deep through there. I felt like I braked early, but obviously I didn't. Just saw Verstappen got an 18.5. There's Piastri again with an 18.2. I don't think we're going to get anywhere near that. We're going to definitely have to go again. 19.4, faster than Hamilton and Behrman. Right, so I'm going to finish this lap. So we're gaining some time. Put us into 6th above George. I think we're going to have to go again on new softs, I think, which is wasting tyres for Q3 if we can make it. Alonso's into P5 in the Aston Martin. There's one past us, there's two past us, so currently P9. We've got Yuki Tsunoda behind us and Alex Albon. They're definitely going to go faster. Albon did, so we're on the bubble at the moment, but we're improving, so we should be okay, and we're safe anyway. Don't have to complete this lap, but we're going to, so make a little mistake heading into the far chicane. Don't think it's going to be as good as the Q1 time. But it's going to be enough to put us through. I think it's a P4 there, so consistently top 5 in qualifying, but obviously Q1 and Q2 where you get doesn't really mean anything as long as you're safe. 18.7, so a tenth slower than Q1. Oscar again getting an 18.2. Any surprises getting knocked out? Obviously, Yuki in the Red Bull. We expect him to get to Q3. Isaac Hadjar's got a 5-place grid penalty. Lando only 6th behind the Williams of Carlos Sainz is a little surprising, but as I said, it means nothing until Q3. Speaking of Q3 then, let's see where we can get on the grid for our first race of the career. We're in the top 10 then, we're happy where we are now. Let's just see if we can put it close-ish to the front. I'm not expecting the front row. We're even top 3 with the McLarens and the Red Bull of Verstappen, so... 4th and 5th I'm happy, but we made Q3, which was the aim, considering Kimi didn't make it in real life. 17.6 for Lando Norris. Absolutely blasted the times from Q1 and Q2. I don't think we're going to get anywhere near that. We're going to come across the line. It's an 18.2 to be fair, the first time we've got in the 18.2s in the qualifying session. We're 10th up already after turn 1 and 2. So we didn't finish the lap in the end, we did lose time in the middle sector. But P3 currently, Oscar Piastri, an 18.6, the worst lap he's done so far. But a 17.6 for Lando Norris is a brilliant lap. I don't think no one's going to get close to that. Verstappen almost 2 tenths behind, it's doable, but Lando's probably going to improve again. I'm expecting Oscar to jump us. So P4's looking doable here. We've got a bit of a gap to our teammate George Russell. But it's looking, a second row is looking doable here. Here we go then, all or nothing. Try and get second row. Oh, all over the curb there. We're going to lose a lot of time through there. Through the end of sector 1. Doesn't look like anyone's improved, so we have got a second row lockout for Mercedes, unless we can do something quite incredible there and stick it on the front row. But we're losing so much time through the start of sector 3, probably my worst sector of the track. So go to the line, it is P3, second row lockout for the team. There's just no chance we're going to get close to Lando Norris or Max Verstappen in the 17s.
With qualifying complete, all that remains now is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
We actually got pretty close to the 17s, only 0.08 of a second away from it. Piastri didn't improve his position. He only got 5th, whereas Max Verstappen cut it down to 0.08 between him and Lando Norris. So he almost stole pole away from the Brit, but second row lockout, I'll take that all day long, and we can definitely fight from there and see if we can get a podium and a decent haul of points.
The winter is over. It's time for Formula 1 2025. Yes, that long break that you've all been coping with so well can now be put to the back of your minds. It's on-track action and it's off-track drama. That's what we're looking forward to. So here we are at Albert Park Circuit, 3.28 miles around, with the streets making for a bumpy surface with little undulation. There are 14 corners around the lake, with the best passing opportunities coming at turn 1 and turn 3. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Antonelli, Russell, Oscar Piastri, and Fernando Alonso, Leclerc, Hamilton, Sainz, and Alex Albon, Tsunoda, Behrman, Liam Lawson, and Hülkenberg, Ocon, Bortoletto, Lance Stroll, and Pierre Gasly. Doohan and Isaac Hadjar rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. And alongside me, bringing glamour and expertise to our commentary today, Naomi Schiff. As much as I like testing, and I do love testing, and I've really enjoyed the build-up here and all the speculation, I really want to see some action. And finally today, we get some proper action on the track.
This is always such an exciting time in the season. First of all, it's the first time they'll be racing their new cars. So that's always an exciting thing for drivers to look forward to. But also, they've had a long time off during the winter break. So it's about dusting the cobwebs off, getting the rust off of their bones, and really getting their elbows out there and having some fun.
Okay, radio check, radio check.
Radio check.
So we can see the front row right ahead of us. We know who to overtake to try and get a win on debut here and become the youngest F1 winner. The strategy, I think I might just keep it at mediums to hards, lap 9 pit. I don't really think I'm going to do much different with that. So on that note, let's get ready for lights out. So much wheel spin at the start there. I was trying to capitalise on Lando's hard tyres, but unfortunately it didn't work as Alonso has got ahead of us in his Aston Martin. Verstappen takes the lead. George is trying to get past Lando and Norris. As I said, he's on hard tyres. He was going for Alonso there, but I think he broke a bit too late and almost ended up hitting into George. So pretty much medium tyres for all the top 5 apart from Lando, and then Charles is also on hard. He's in 6th. Could try and keep it George and hope he tows me along here. I don't want to get stuck with an Aston Martin. Last Diva's going to lose us some time. Not in the rhythm yet, and as you can tell, still not used to having no line and the updated handling on this game, which feels a lot better than last game. Try and just create a gap to Alonso. We got to 8 tenths. Try and see if we can get him out DRS again deep into the chicane. And we have got Alonso out of our DRS. So just focus here on sitting behind George, saving tyres. Alonso's got back in here as we get fastest lap of the race. In the real life Australian Grand Prix, Kimi drove a fantastic race to get P4 on debut in a mixed conditions race. Luckily for us here it isn't. I feel like we are faster than George here. Massive gap now to Alonso behind, 2.7 seconds, so I wonder if that's our pace or the Aston Martin is already showing signs of weakness. Is there a gap appearing? There was. There still is. Try and leave room, and we're through onto the podium. That's really weird from the AI actually, because surely you'd cover off the space and then try and battle, but that didn't happen. It's Lando Norris on his hard tyres now in the lead of this Grand Prix. I feel like we've definitely got pace over our teammate because we've already dropped him out of DRS. We've only been ahead of him for a little bit as Verstappen and Norris start to battle. Verstappen's got back through in the lead. 3 seconds to him though, I don't think we have to worry about them just yet. Three what? So there's a little bug with the engine here. Mark just wants to count to 5 with me over the radio. Tyre definitely looks like it's gone up in this game. Rear left is taking a bit of a battering here, as the Red Bull and McLaren ahead seem to be having a great race, swapping lead almost every lap as we turned a bit too early for that corner. Piastri's found his way into 5th after he had quite a poor start. There's going to be nothing we can do about the cars ahead in this race, I don't think. They're too fast for us. And Piastri's now coming as well, so he's going to be a lot faster than us. Hard tyres don't seem too bad. Piastri going to find a way through. It looked like he was going for it.
5.6 seconds.
And he does get it. Eventually, as Mark doesn't tell me who the gap to, but I was going to assume it's to Max, so 5.6 to the lead. Piastri's now flying. There's not going to defend much from him because it seems like we're not in his race as we go wide anyway. I feel we can really do about it. Almost halfway through this race. We'll defend from our teammate though. That's for sure, as we're fighting for a position here. Trying to get Piastri to tow us along with DRS, because George Russell is going to be a lot faster than us here. I think our tyres could die a lot quicker with the way I'm driving this car. Oh, that's really deep. That's going to give George a look on the inside. Luckily he doesn't try it, but that wasn't a very good corner. Lost loads of time to Piastri as well to try and tow us along. Hopefully we can just find our way back through, otherwise George Russell's going to be all over us here. As we go deep again, I think our tyres are definitely dying. Luckily we're pitting on the next lap. Looks like Verstappen has now overtaken Norris. They're having a great race up front, but they're so far ahead of us that we're just not going to be able to get involved.
Box this lap. Box this lap.
Going for those hard tyres this lap. Obviously Piastri I don't think will be pitting because he's on the hards. So we're going to try and undercut on Piastri, see if we can gain any time on our couple laps on the hards when he's still out there on old set. We dropped George Russell in this lap. It's now 1.4 and we've snuck into DRS of Oscar Piastri, so looks like we're fighting Oscar this race.
This lap, and remember the speed limit. We'll be penalised if we exceed it. Keep that in mind.
That's messed up that corner massively, but luckily we survived and with no warnings too. Oh, and I almost made contact with Piastri there. I had to stay left, which got me on the grass, which has lost me loads of time. As I said though, luckily we are pitting. Verstappen is also in the pit. 2.7 stop. It would have been quicker if I checked which button it was before going into the actual pit, and then again forgetting which button's which. Coming out into traffic also isn't good. Bit of contact with Jack Doohan. I think we damaged his front wing. Bit of a stupid pit exit that. Why is it coming out right at the corner? Right, let's see what we can do then. We need to try and get about 1 second over Piastri here, I think it was, before we just pitted. And we're halfway through this race. Get rid of these, well, not bat markers, but battling cars as quick as possible. Holding us up a little bit though as George Russell makes his way into the pit.
Okay, George is coming in for his stop.
There's a gap on the inside of Albon. We got through, but we did lose a lot of time doing it. We're racing George Russell here. Are we going to beat him coming out the pits? It's going to be, have to be a late break, give him room. We saw what happened with us, and we actually did pass him, so we keep our position with George Russell. The gap looks about the same. So if we can get past Lawson here, there is a chance we can jump Oscar Piastri for the podium. Lewis set so much quicker here. Lawson's been on them for 11 laps. They've only been on these for 2. And let's actually let George Russell get right close to us here. We're going to have to pass right now. Lawson tries to cover it. Luckily there's a gap around the outside. And through we go, and now we just try and make the gap smaller between us and Oscar Piastri. Hard tyres feel very good here. So Oscar has pitted and it looks like it's going to be too far away. We've lost too much time.
Really good job on hitting that target, mate.
But our tyres are heated, his isn't. Ours are bedding into the stint, his are just waking up. Back up into P4. Verstappen has a massive lead ahead of Lando Norris, so unless something goes wrong, so we cut the corner there, somehow did get a warning. Have I got that setting on? I'll double check that after the race, but yeah, Verstappen, unless something goes wrong, should have this race wrapped up.
Okay, Okay, Andrea. George is in the car behind you. They're faster than you, mate. They're faster than you, so let them through, please. Okay, gap to the car ahead, 2.9 seconds.
But we gained on him. Alright, so team orders. George Russell has to pass us. I mean, we was literally, I think we was actually putting a gap on him, but okay. But at least give him DRS then.
Okay, thanks for doing that, mate. I know it's not nice, but head down and let's focus on your own race.
Bit stupid really, but it is what it is. Just keep up the pace now and make sure the
Okay, some information on
Ferraris don't
Bortoleto.
pass us, as
They're retiring
Bortoleto
from the
has
race.
retired in the Sauber. 5 laps to go in this Grand Prix. George isn't exactly pulling away from us, so how is he faster? Make sure we didn't overtake any yellow. You probably don't get anything for it in the games, but you know, keep it realistic. Oh, George, massive slide through the final corner.
Flag.
They told me to let him by, but now I'm all over him, so if there's a chance, gonna overtake him, and there was a chance. Don't go deep. Bit of wheel spin on the exit, but we're back through into P4 and basically said screw the team orders. He should get us back really down here, but not really the point. I think that's the first time. I don't know if it's a new feature because I don't remember having an objective like that in the last game. Is here it comes now. We're gonna just let him go. Don't want to cause contact or battle too hard with a teammate, especially not this early in a career. Last year I didn't really get on well with the hard tyres, but this year they feel really good, so it seems like a tyre improvement as well. So we've now got DRS or George Russell. Going to look to the inside, going to brake really early to make sure we didn't go deep and make contact. This is actually losing us time because Charles Leclerc is on his way, so we're going to switch to the outside of George Russell and make the move stick back into P4 with only a handful of laps remaining. Can be sensible now though, because we don't want to get overtaken by the Ferrari. Try and save as much points as possible. Defend all you can, George, because we don't want to lose points to Ferrari. We're getting decent points here. Should put a second in the constructors. Trying to keep him in the DRS. Charles looks through the outside. Is George going to block him off? It doesn't look like he is. Trying to focus on myself as well. Charles now got the inside, which isn't good. He's going to try and push George wide. Great battling between the AI. George now gets front wing ahead and he stayed ahead. Great battling from the AI. And George Russell stays ahead as we enter the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix.
0.3 seconds.
Now Charles looks to the inside. He hasn't got it. I'm backing off trying to give George DRS. We won't get it this time because it's a one detection DRS. That wouldn't help, and it's actually let George through, but I'd rather be here than trying to give DRS. Luckily it's not a couple more laps because Lewis might get in the mix here, but Charles again having a look. Luckily I've got the DRS from George. Great into this race here for P4. Bit wide, but we're fine. Oh, we're not fine that time. That's even wider. Use everything to defend now as we enter the final lap.
Final lap. Push, push.
Oh, massive oversteer. We've dropped Charles a little bit, so hopefully that is us secured in 4th and 5th. Gonna make my mission to try and get 4th away from my teammate, but now with Charles so close after that corner, I don't think it's gonna be doable. Tiny bit of wheel contact. Side by side on the final lap as Max Verstappen wins the Australian Grand Prix. We go wide. Try and brake early here so we don't go deep ourselves. Lewis is now caught up. Thankfully there's no more laps. As we enter the final corner, It's going to be a drag race to the line pretty much if George can get in our slipstream, but it's not going to be. We get P4 on debut just like Kimi in real life, and we take that.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Oh man. That was close. Wow, what a race.
Kimi first one. Really, really good.
And in the end, there was no Verstappen. Max Verstappen, he takes victory.
Well, they kept us guessing during pre-season testing. We all wondered who it was going to be, and to have them drawn out here today, that they are the ones to beat, just goes to show that all the work they put in has really counted.
Well, it's been a long wait for many of our drivers, but the wait is always worth it. Bring them out to the awaiting crowd. It's time for our podium celebrations. One of the all-time greats celebrates yet again. It's another podium, it's another top step for Max Verstappen. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.
Not a bad debut at all. P4 in the Grand Prix, and that'll put Mercedes P3 in the standings, 11 points behind McLaren, who just missed out on a race win this weekend, but very solid from us. I would take that very happily. Just beating George Russell, our teammate, and managing to stay ahead of both Ferraris. Bortoletto, the only DNF. Fernando Alonso scored a point, which he still hasn't done in real life yet. But very much enjoyed that race. Next will obviously be the Chinese Grand Prix and the first sprint of the season. Being our teammate in the teammate rivalry. Should put us up to 72 rated now, and it does. So we go up a rating after the first Grand Prix of the season, and that will be that, the first Grand Prix of the season. Quite an exciting one in the end, and our quest I think our aim is just to get top 3 in the constructors and top 5 in the drivers, and so far that's going to plan. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and I'll see you in the next one.